Alright, hell yeah. So we have the gutter surf wave in Boise, and what we're going to look at is how to catch eddies, and there's going to be about three aspects of this video. One is jumping to the other side. So I'm on one side of the boat, I jump to the other side, and I'm able to catch that eddy. And the other aspect of this video is to, hey, look at this. Maybe I'm paddling on my strong side, the boat's going to turn, and my strong side is going to be on that side, and then once I get to the eddy, I'm going to jump to the other side. And then right there, I just had to take one paddle stroke. So if that's your offside, you don't even need a pry. Just use your one or two paddle strokes. So let's say this is my strong side. I'm going to be jumping to the offside and then paddling in. So now we will get into a detailed analysis because, you know what I mean? I was making these videos of like, hey, you know what I mean? This is kind of the easiest way to catch this eddy is go across. And but this one we mess up. And so fundamentally, I'm not understanding that this is an eddy line. And if I'm not perpendicular, if I'm not punching through at a perpendicular, it's going to spin me, and I'm still in current. You know what I mean? So this really sends me down there. So what I was thinking is, like, if I am going to jump to my offside, jump right now, because that will swing the boat and really downstream drive into that, you know what I mean? So that would be just totally tip-top. It's always going to be best to be on this side near the wave, and especially because it's going to have a tendency to turn the boat downstream, and so you're paddling against that. But like right here, potentially body shift and then drive into that eddy, especially if I'm already over here, because I just get rotated the other way. Now, this tutorial is also like there's no one tip that stands alone, because we make this one's going to go really well, and so this is what I'm going to be talking about. The reason why this one goes well is there's a trough in here, and I'm perfectly aligned with the trough, and my body hits up against this wave. And so hell yeah, let's take a look at this. And we just really just drive across. And I'm gonna talk about the physics of this wave. Water being three-dimensional, and you're in the lowest part, it actually takes quite a bit of energy to raise your elevation. Just think about that, like a crane coming in and taking your boat from like right here, and then a forklift lifting it up 2 feet. So like that, and we just kind of plow across that wave because it takes a lot of energy to actually raise this up. We have all this current coming in, you know what I mean? We have a tendency to get pushed up and over this, but the only way to get pushed up and over this wave is either plow through it and move the water sideways, or theoretically ride up over it, which takes a lot of energy. Because we're going to see, and there is this physics here where driving across eddies, I really want a lot of momentum going across to start with, and I want to be in that trough. And when we do hit, let's say we do hit this wave, and we have this incoming water that's wanting to push me over, if I have any sort of like angle, that's going to really just spit me even more sideways faster. Okay, hell yeah. Because that was literally the only good one, and then we make a whole lot of errors. So I know this one, I'm going to be hella down here. And how do I know that? Well, I'm not going for the trough. I started right here, and let's watch this all the way through, and then I get just up and over the wave. Well, that one wasn't half bad. You know what I mean? But we didn't enter in the trough. It's kind of interesting that like right here, it seems counterintuitive that this is going to suck you in. But yeah, this is going to be a downhill slope. We're starting at this uphill. I'm going to get a lot of momentum downstream. But we do tag a piece of that wave where there's more of these surfs. I don't catch any of that, and I'm way the hell down there. And again, all of these, I'm going to be on my strong side. I'm going to jump to the offside, and that's going to kind of hook into that eddy. Heck yeah. And right there, could I have jumped earlier? Probably, you know what I mean? So even like right here, I probably could have jumped. Well, I jumped, just to get faster on this jump and then throw in a paddle stroke. I should have already thrown in one right here to really drive across this eddy line at a perpendicular. I'm just allowing my boat to spin. So, I know it's useful to jump to the other side, but I can get way more dialed. Okay, hell yeah. So that time I did go right for the trough, and that keeps our momentum. So So that keeps our momentum gliding across, and you can see I'm now perpendicular with that eddy line. And then even like right here, you got a choice. Like let's say I wanted to be like down here in the eddy. Well, all I have to do is cross this eddy line with an angle that's like, you know what I mean, an angle like this to the eddy. Like we have an upstream eddy, so we're gonna hook in. But just know that when you cross this eddy, it still gives your boat an opportunity to glide. Like you're kind of getting sucked in, and so as long as you keep your boat on angle, it's going to take that driving force and really kind of, so I could suck my boat down into there if I wanted to. It does require a lot of pry or you know, sweeping forward strokes. Okay, hell yeah. So this one ain't going to go good. Same thing. I'm going to go right up over the pile. And I lost all momentum. See, I'm way the hell down there. So that really shows just like, and this is interesting because all these like this is current footage from this fall. You know what I mean? And it's just fascinating that me analyzing my own footage, like I don't know that. Like when I'm boating, I'm just kind of using whatever's in my knowledge to date. But it's just so fascinating to look at footage and be like, nah, you know, come in here. And then to make these videos and then to go out and then, because you have to practice what you preach, because I'll still probably make this error instead of see this little window, but not after making this video, because this is really obvious. I'm like right here. And the other thing that I don't have is I don't have a lot of momentum this direction. So we're going to talk about that because in the wave that I do in Montana up in Missoula, I don't need any momentum like right to left. If I just enter right here, it's going to suck me in. And that sucking process is going to take me from here to the center. And that is going to give me that momentum sideways. And all three things are going to happen. I'm going to go up against this pile. The downstream momentum is going to just like squeeze me out like a frictionless wedge. You know what I mean? Compared to over here, hell, we're just going to, we have no momentum. We're going to go ride all the way over this thing. Jumping to the other side doesn't do hardly anything. Cool. So we're going to take a look at that because this one's still too high. No, that was decent. You know, we go right in on that one. Hell yeah. And that one I didn't jump to the other side. And the boat just kind of low sides right here and stops in place, which is pretty useful. So just like R1 rafting is cool because you can just experiment with so many different little aspects of the game. Hell yeah. All right. So now this time I try to paddle just on this side. Whether, you know, this is my weak side, I'll grant you, but typically you want to cross on this closest side to the wave. I'm just kind of practicing, but it's way difficult. And, you know, my boat gets turned, and I just say, nah, you know what I mean? And so this is where part of this video is like, if you're not able to, so let's go all the way back to this one. If you're not able to paddle on your strong side, and I would say because you don't have a good, I mean, your offside. When you R1, if you're not able to paddle on your offside because your pry is just garbage, like because it takes a while for paddling on your offside to even go through a rapid. But like right here, if this is my offside, all I have to do is angle the boat and take forward paddle strokes, 1, 2, 3, and then jump to the other side at some point. And then the reverse is true. If this is my strong side and I'm crossing into this eddy, all I have to do is just jump to my offside and take forward paddle strokes. And so this is such a good practice to practice your offside paddling. Where here, trying to do everything, you know what I mean? Just like I can't do it. You know, so even right here, my offside game, I'd practice it, but it's very difficult R1 boating. All right, hell yeah. So we're just no speed going through. Hey, we caught a little bit of that wave, but, you know, we're still just way up high. Look at that. We need to be right here, and I just don't realize that. That'll suck me in. This is going to drop me off this roller and give me downstream momentum, and I'm going to lose all momentum sideways. All right, sweet. So still pretty high, but yeah, so that was the worst on that side. Not realizing that I want to come right in here. This was way too high, going up over that wave. And then the other thing about this is these waves, think of them as pyramids or like a cone, that if you go up on it, it has a tendency to slow your boat in this direction. So we're going to lose all momentum going this way. If this was big enough, we'd actually slide right back down it, like a skateboard ramp. And so that kind of loses all that momentum. And then going off the other side, it has a real tendency to just go in that direction. And so we get really thrown downstream. Or I guess, yeah, so once we're right here, a huge tendency just to get carried with the current. We lost our momentum, and then we didn't catch that eddy very high. Okay, so we got some different footage. But yeah, same thing. We make a lot of mistakes here, even on this lower portion. Just because it doesn't seem like the trough's not very definitive, but still all those things apply, and I just go way too high into these. We'll see what I do. This looks pretty decent, so I'm sure we caught that one tight. Yeah, so even just and that was really nice. So let's say if this is your offside, take a couple strokes, jump to your well, I said that wrong, but it doesn't matter whether this is your offside or strong side. The whole idea is all these just require forward strokes. Nothing required any prying going into this. Just angle the boat, knowing that the boat in this current is going to want to take it downstream, so I really have to apply these forward strokes to keep that. And then same thing here. This eddy is really going to rip my boat this way, so jump to this side and then just take forward strokes. So this is a real good opportunity to jump around and practice both sides of your boat paddling. Yeah, and then here, I'm not, so right here I do not have space, I don't have awareness before this video that eddy lines need to be crossed at 90-degree angles. And this is just kind of shame on me for not really getting out and running rivers. That's my goal for this summer, is to, like, I just want to chase waves. Yeah, I just want to surf waves, but my river running skills of just like, hey, catching eddies, you know what I mean? What we're doing here, there's still a lot to learn, and I don't even realize that, you know, I'm just thinking I need to cross from point A to point B. That's literally the only thing in my mind. I have no idea before watching this footage that this eddy line needs to be crossed perpendicular. You know what I mean? Because even right here, it has a tendency to rotate my boat, and we're just not crossing in, and we get kind of pretty low down in there. And this is a hella strong eddy, so there's no reason not to be able to own this thing. So that was pretty decent. So we crossed at a 45, but again, I don't know, do we get right into that trough? I mean, not really, but I think we do our best. But even right here, I think I have a tendency to want to come too high into this thing. It's going to suck me in, but I really want to be sucked in right here. Get that upstream and over momentum. But it seems like, hey, I got some pretty momentum driving across. We just can't enter that trough because it has this wave kind of blocking that. Now this side I should be able to kind of get into that trough just a little bit better. But still, I'm not understanding the fundamentals of an eddy line. I'm just, so all I do is just get into that trough. That's good. But like right now, body shift to this side and then drive really hard 2 strokes because I want to cross this eddy line perpendicular to drive into it. And so we just get kind of shoveled. You know, it's no big deal because this thing is strong as, but hell yeah, just a lot of fundamentals that. And it's interesting from an R1 boating perspective. It's just like, it seems like kayakers, I don't know, for whatever reason, just, you know, I guess at any level, even a kayaker needs to learn these things. And I mean, do you just learn them faster because it's intuitive, where just with the big old boat, you know, things just aren't as intuitive? I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. That's why I make these videos, because it just seems like, you know, R1ing's been around for a couple decades now, and I still just see kind of the same boating styles, where like a kayak, like kayakers, they do it all, like all the time. And so I'm just saying there's no reason that an R1 boater can't do the same or more because we're able to jump around. I mean, there is one aspect that you're only on one side at a time, and you can't paddle equally on both sides. But yeah, it blows my mind that there's some fundamentals. See, we're not getting into that trough. Yeah, so we're just getting really rolled out. So hell yeah. So if I'm not able to get into this trough, this is the second trough. There's no reason to enter this high right at this roller. It's going to drop me in, and I'm going to get way the hell low. Yeah, see that there's, well, that wasn't too bad. But it would just be interesting to compare. So next time I'm at a feature like this, hey, just compare entering 3 different places, but entering kind of a little bit lower and trying to get that momentum through this trough. But I might just get pieced off that trough, so that one wasn't half bad. That was pretty decent. But could we have used that skill of jumping to the other side and trying to cross that eddy line more at a 45? Sure, you know what I mean? Because if we did that, we could be driving across this eddy line that direction. And yeah, and that's typically how you'd cross a pretty serious eddy line, perpendicular. All right, hell yeah, we don't have too many more of these, so yep. See, we're just really low downstream. So if I can't catch this trough, catch that trough. You know what I mean? So this right here, I should be coming in like right here. Yeah, and it's just fascinating. I don't realize that, like boating, All right, so that's it. That's all the footage, and booyah. So we did it, and we'll probably just kind of end. I don't know. This one's a pretty decent one. So just kind of downstream, jump to the other side, but even right there, we get washed out. So that's one thing that I really want to work on. Is like jump to the other side, but just get my paddle stroke in faster, cross this eddy line at a 45, really drive that in, and then not get spun so fast. But still, this was pretty sweet. So hell yeah, we'll just watch this one, and that's it. Heck yeah. Alright, thanks for joining me, and that's a video.